After that, we are going to add our iOS app. Click the iOS and you see you have to enter the iOS bundle ID. It's a little bit tricky. We have to open the iOS and then you can find runner.xcode project and you have to open in your finder and you can see the blue or right icon. Click the blue one and it will open up the Xcode for you, and just click the runner and you can see the bundle identifier. Copy that and go to the firebase, paste that nickname, any name you want, and App Store ID is optional. Well, just the app. And you can see the config file. You have to download it as well. And you have to move it under the application. In this case, we are going to move it under the runner. So you got your info playlist and you move it under the runner here and click finish. That's it. You can see the Google service info.playlist there, and that's fine. We just close it and click next. We don't have to do anything about that. Click next. We don't have to do anything about that either. Click next, and now we have to run our app on the iPhone. And we can just close the Android for now. Yep, when iPhone is running, just click start. And you can see it's still running, the loading. You have to give some time to it. It's running an Xcode build. It's actually packing all the dependencies into the iOS port. You can see the firebase and the firebase core. So this is what Xcode is doing. So you may skip this part, but I will let you see how long does it take. So if you feel bored, skip this. Usually it takes a long time when you run this for the first time with the cloud file. Yep, we waited for 173 seconds and our app is installed on our iPhone finally. And you can see a lot of things happening here. It's connected with the firebase, and I have to remind you that it's not instant. You have to wait for about half a minute for it to be checked, and we just let it run for a few more seconds until you see the green, until you see it becomes green. Yeah, and you can see congratulations, you successfully added Firebase to your app. Continue to console. That's it. How we add our iOS, or how we add Firebase to iOS, and you have to wait for that long. So no worry, don't quit when it is still building your Xcode. Why I wait for that long? Because I want to show you someone will quit before it's successfully built up. So don't quit and wait for it, even it takes a long time, and wait for these things go well as well, because it is connecting with the Firebase. And now we can do some magic, how to log user in. Our app is a motor app, we don't have to implement the login function, and some of the students said they know how to implement the login. So I'm going to see if you want to know how to do the Firebase login. Please leave your comment under the comment section, and I'll do another video for login function. But for now, I'm going to talk about all these packages that we are going to look at. We got around 27 packages that is really useful for us to make some amazing stuff. So we are going to look at them one by one, and we will implement them in our project. So let's go to the let's go to the pub.dev. We have already used some of the package, and I'm going to show you some fantastic one. For example, you can type wave, and the first one, wave is a widget for displaying waves with custom color, duration, floating, and blur effect. So how is it looks like? It's like this, and it will wave. It is animated, so we will use it as our background. We have lots of options and we can customize them. I will show you how does it works, and it may be useful for you as well in the future project. And the second one is Flutter Swiper. And what's it? It is used for implementing some simple swipe effects. There's a lot of options that you can do with, and it's really simple to use, but we have to deal with them one by one. So I will show you how you can use it. Another package is called Flutter Spin Kit. What is it? It's a set of fantastic spin effects. We can use it when we are loading our images from the network. And the another one is called the carousel slider. It is similar to the one that we've looked at before, but the effect is better, I think. So you can choose whether you want to use Flutter Swiper or carousel slider. And another option for you is the Flutter Slidable. This is the display of it. You can make some button or options there. So I think it is really useful as well. I'm going to introduce you another one. Is called the image cropper. Image cropper is very useful when you want the user to crop the image directly in your app, and you have the tilting effect, and it's really useful when you want user to crop image in your app. And another one is called shimmer. Shimmer is fantastic. This effect just signaling the loading for user. So you have a lot of options, either use the spin kit or shimmer for telling user that something is loading in the background. And you can look at the percent indicator. Percent indicator, you can customize it for your need. It simply shows how many percent is it. And similar to that, we have a progress indicator. For progress indicator, is another option for you to tell the user, something's loading. But I guess this is better than the shimmer effect. It's more direct. Apart from that, we have the flutter color picker. For flutter color picker, we can easily let the user to pick color, and we have lots of display. If you want this, you can set the color picker to this kind of set, or let the user pick a custom color, whatever. So it is fantastic, this package. We'd like to make some animation to the test, so we use the animated test kit. It is easy, and the layout is really impressive. You can make a lot of options, typer or typewriter, or scale the text, or colorize it even. So we will use it, and I'll show you how to use it. Sometimes you have the URL and you want to open the URL inside your app, so we're gonna use the in-app browser. For in-app browser, we have something to take care of. It may get some error. We have to fix the Android X compatibility. We have did this before in our Firebase setup, so you may refer to that setup to fix the Android X problem. And for iOS, you may get some problem as well, so we have to edit the iOS pop file, which we will do in the future. And I'm gonna show you another package called badges. This is for creating the this kind of effect. So I think it's useful, and the detail is good. So you may alert user, you got some message or got some notifications using badges. You don't have to figure it out by yourself, just use the package. And since we let our users to upload the image, we may use the multi-image picker, so that users can select multiple images at the same time instead of one by one. For sliding up panel, the effect I think is wonderful. You can see it. We will use it for displaying some details of our information. You can see how to use this, and I will show you one by one. Not just sliding up, we got headers, sticky headers. So sticky headers, you can see this is what the effects that we want. With these packages, we don't have to write a lot of code. We just have to use the package, and we can get the fantastic animation effect. And for the bottom navigation bar, that's fantastic animation as well. I think this is better than the usual bottom navigation bar. This animation is really easy to use then. It's another option for the navigation bar. Remember this style, and let's see what this is. So this is different than the previous one. It's indented kind of navigation bar, so it's up to you to use which type of navigation bar in your project. We have the third choice called bubble bottom bar, and it's another option for you. So I'm just letting you know a bunch of options available, and it's your preference to choose which kind of bottom navigation bar. And we also got simple animations. Simple animations is look like this, but we can easily implement them. We don't have to code one by one, so that's the magic of package. And we've mentioned that URL before. We can make the URL link look like clickable links by using this package called Flutter Linkify, and is recommended to use the URL launcher, so you can use it. Also, I introduce you the AZ list view. This just looks like it, and when you have a list of choices you want to make from A to alphabetical order, you can use this AZ list view. We want to refresh our content, so we're gonna use this liquid pool to refresh, which got some nice animation like this. Yep, so we're going to use this package for refresh. And we have Flutter X slider. Flutter's X slider is simply a slider where you can choose your custom value. It's ready to use, and a lot of customization you can make. It doesn't just look like this kind simple. You can make a lot of color choices, or the icon, or the button. And for our app, we are going to use a lot of icons, and for your apps maybe as well. So the default icons, I can show you the default icons. So for example, the button, I can use icon and then icon start. Icon data, or icon start, and then you have a bunch of choices. For example, note, okay, sorry, just say icon start and then choose from here. Maybe print and refresh. You can see the icons here, but the choices is not enough, even though you got a lot. But you may want some special icon, so we're going to use this package Flutter icon start. You can see you can choose from font awesome, or material icons, or simple line icons. So it gives you a lot more options. So we're going to use Flutter icon, and we want some effect animation to our flip card. You can see the card will be flipped front and back, and we can make a lot of optimization for that. We can make up and down or left to right. And finally, we're going to use the Flutter toast. What is it? Simply, it will pops up the message like a toast, pop up any success or error message. So this is what we are going to use or introduce in this course packages. So the first one, we are going to use Wave, and we are going to install it. Go to pubspec.yaml. Under the cloud file store, install it. Go packages get. Okay, I'm going to introduce you this package Wave, and how you get started. You can see the default code, and we're going to copy them first. And since we're not going to use the login page, we're going to delete the code there. From the container here. Okay, and we are going to use this package. You can see it is called Wave widget, and inside the container we give child Wave widget. Oh, it doesn't exist. Why? Because we have to import them. Go to import and wave.config, and you can see we're going to import the wave dot. So import wave.dot as well. So here we can see the wave widget, and you can see two parameter, config and size. For config, we can say custom config, and for custom config we have durations and height percentages, and also colors. For colors or gradients, you can see here we are going to use this notation, which is a list of gradients and a list of colors. So for now, we just copy and paste it to see what's the effect. How's it looking? For colors, for duration, and for the high percentages. Okay, and then we got size. For size, you can see we use the size type. I just type size, and you can see the width and the height. For the width, we're going to say double dot infinity, so the full available width, and for height as well, double dot infinity. So let's see, it gives you some error. Don't scared. It says it cannot provide both color and gradients. Why? Because for gradient, we're gonna say where is the gradient begin and the gradient ends. For begin, it say that from the bottom left. For the end, it says from the top right. And for colors, we got a bunch of white colors for durations as well. And this should be working fine. Let's do a full restart. Okay, so we got our background there, and you notice a problem. We can't add child or children, so we're going to use the widget that we have mentioned before, which is stack. And for stack, you notice that we can have color, and for child is not available, we need to use children. So we're gonna cut this, and then we say children. The background will be the wave, and let's see if something changed. Yes, we can't see the background anymore. So we're gonna have container on the back, and the color will be let's see, yep, it's looking fine. And for our project, we are going to use this site for our Harley Davidson motorbike. So we got a bunch of motorbike with prices and categories. So what I'm going to do first is to add a text here saying the Harley Davidson. Let's see how we can do so. Since we're going to have a column, say column and children, we got test. For test, we say Harley Davidson. Let's see where the test, yeah, is there. And remember, once you see this kind of yellow line, it means that you are not using scaffold, so we have to put scaffold there. And for scaffold, as we are not using child, we are using body, so it's looking fine. And you see the word chains. What if we want the words inside the safe area? We can use the widget safe area, and it goes down below, and we want some style. So inside the text we say style, text style. We want the font size to be 30. Let's see. Yep, better. And the font weight to be bold, better. And we can have shadows. For shadow, I have a list of shadows. Color will be black, and offset 20, 10. Let's see. So it's a bit far. We're going to use 3 and 5 maybe. Let's see. And we can have maybe blur radius, and we give a double 20. Wow, it's better, right? Or maybe 10. So this is how you can make a shadow of a text, I think, which is quite useful. And we want to have some padding there, so we warp the text with padding. And we want only the left, so we use only. And for the left, spider, maybe 12. And the top, maybe 4. That's it, that's what we want. So in the next step, we're going to create some cards displaying the different categories of the motorbike. And we're gonna import the image, fetch the image from this site. To display different motorbike with a slidable card. So the easiest way to do it is using packages. What packages are we going to use is the carousel slider, and it's really simple to use it. So we just say carousel slider, copy this line and go to the pub/spec.yaml, add this line under the wave and go packages get. After that, you can import it in our landing page, which is carousel slider dot, and under that we can see where do we want the carousel be. It will be here, right? So we have to go under the text inside the column. So under here we're going to say Carol. Under this we're going to say Carol wise. Oh, sorry, it's a common mistake. I have to go under the padding, carousel slider, and you have to give some parameter. For example, the height of the slider will be 400, I guess, and we have to say some items. And for items, we're gonna set it is to map. And map what? We have to map a function, and we have to say to list. For to list, and then we're going to add some integer inside this list, for example up to 5. And for the map, we have to make a function, so it will be the integer, and inside the function we say we're gonna return a builder, and inside the builder we have the builder parameter, which is context, and we are going to return something. What we are going to return is padding. We are going to return some padding, edge inside, or we give it 8. And for now, should be nothing. So when we refresh it, nothing's there. And we are going to add some child to the padding. For the child, we want to add a container. Inside the container, we have the width. What is the width? As we mentioned, we are going to use the media query dot of the device, and then we're gonna get the size and the width. After that, can see we still need the child inside the container, and we use the test for easy identification. And inside the test, we're not going to just give the number. We're going to say I. We're using this I, and then you can still see the error because default it gives a widget, but we are not, so we delete it, and you can see it's up there, but it sounds strange. You can see it's not what we want, so we may give a color. For easy, okay, we say pink first, and you can see it's up and running. We may want some margin, give 20, and it's look pretty well. We can add our image there. So you remember that we can add the image by using the image dot something. So let's say image dot network this time. And where's the source? The source will be the link of that image. So you go to this website and you're gonna click any image, and for that we can say fill image. This is a link, and we're gonna copy the link and paste it there. Refresh, and you can see, oh, the image is up and running. But we're gonna have some modification. We're gonna not make each card be the same image. So in the following videos, we're gonna make it work. You notice that the Harley Davidson is not in the is in the center, which is not in its original position. What we can do is that we can add in a line widget, and then give alignment top left. Okay, it moves to the previous position. And since we got a lot of categories, we want to separate the different cards, so we're gonna write we're gonna give CVO on top of that. So how do we do that? Under the column, under the alignment, we're gonna give a sized box first to make some space between, yep, and then we use widget test so that we can give different styles to the test. And in the widget test, we say test will be test span. Inside test span, you can give children. Inside children, you give another test span, and you say the test will be the CVO, and another test span will be TM. When you refresh, you can't see it because it's not it's in color of white, so we're gonna make it black. And you can see it. Style, yep. So both come up, and we're gonna make the font size larger to 26. Yep. And then we're gonna move the font weight to 600. Alright, the color will be paler is better. Maybe indigo. Yes. And then we're gonna move this to the left. We're gonna give a line. Alignment will be to the top left. And we're gonna give some padding, of course. Only left. So it is better. Yes. And we're gonna do some hard work. How do we make this photograph appear there? So on top, we're going to make a list of the images. So we say final and list of string, call it image list, and that will be a list of our image URL. How do you get the image URL? By clicking into the image, and you can open view image. This is our URL, and I've done that for you, so you can copy and paste all the URL there, which is for the first category, all these pictures. And once we've got the image URL, we're gonna have the method. You can see from here we have items and different items. So now we've got 5 items, and we're gonna remove this and make it our own items. So what do we call? We call it child. And for now it gives you error because we didn't declare what child is. So here we will say final, which is a list. You name it child, and it will be a map of widget. And the map, we've got a key and a value, so the key will be image list, and the value is, we call it index, and the position is I. So give a function. You will see a lot of red error, don't worry. I will return a container. Inside the container we give some margin. Inside all the value will be 5. I guess it's pretty good. And we have a child. For now you see the image got some hard corner. We're gonna make it round. How do we do that? We use clip outlet, and for the clip outlet we can give some properties like the border radius. Let's say the border radius is O, and the radius will be circular, and we give 5. And after that we can give a child inside the clip rats, and for the child we use the stack that we've learned before, and we have a list of children, which is widget, and the widget will be the image dot network, because we're fetching from the network, and I will be the URL, and fit will make it box fit, cover, and the width we give it 1000 maybe. Alright, and then we can give the send code. And then we'll have a positioned widget. Position widget is used to position something. Let's say the button will be 0, and the left side will be 0, and the right side will be 0 as well. So it will stick to the bottom, to the left, to the right. And we have a child. It is a container, and inside the container we have some decoration. We will box decoration, and we give some gradient. What about a linear gradient? And for linear gradient we give a list of color, so we use this notation, list, and the color will be color dot from ARGB maybe 200 and 0 0 0, and another color will be 0 0 0 and 0, so you can see the color later. And we have to say where does it begin. We begin the gradient from bottom center maybe, and how to end it from to the top center. That will be fine. And I have to give some padding. For padding, we use edge symmetric. We have vertical and horizontal. For vertical we have 10, and for horizontal we say 20. After that we give a child, and the child we will say the test. We'll mention the test. For a test, for simplicity we say this is the number x, maybe 1 2 3 image first, and we'll change the test in the future. So after all this, since we are a list, so we have to make it to list. So we have we have created our first widget child, and you see this is error, meaning that we don't have the map. So we are going to create this. Map is also a list of dynamic integer. And we say that a list function, we name it handler. So list of t, we call it result, will be list. And for the variable I is 0, and then we increment it. I will be smaller than the length of list, which means 5, because we got 5 items there. And we increment it. So the result will add the handler, the function by 1. And finally we're going to return the results. So typo. Yep, everything goes well, I guess. And we're going to use this name, so it's better to name it CVO list. Maybe list CVO, because we're going to use small capital letter, and copy that, move it to the item, and refresh. Yes, you can see different images up there from the site, but you see there's a huge gap. Why is it so? Because we got height 400. When I change to 200, it will become better, but you can't see the text because it is black, so we're going to change it to white. So up to the list CVO, where the text is, we're gonna give some style. For the text style, the color will be white, and the font size will be 20. So when we restart it, we can see the text. So we will change the text in the future, no worry now. We're just gonna see how it looks like. We're gonna give the brand name, give the motorbike name, and also the price, just like this. So this is how we implement our carousel slide and with our image fetched from the network. We have our app running, but I think the text Harley Davidson is not attractive. So what we are going to use, what packages we are going to improve, this is the animated test kit, and we are going to use the colorize effect, which can change the words and the color as well. It is really simple to use it, and we are not going to do a lot of animation stuff, so it is really helpful for quick developer. And we're going to install the package. So remember, we're going to add it in the pubspec.yaml, and under the carousel slider we're going to add this. But you have noticed we have to take care of the indentation, so we have to indent it, and we run the packages get. After you see the execute 0, it means successful. You can use this package. How we are going to use it is to import it. So we're going to say import animated test kit, so we can start using it. And we have to find where is this test positioned. So you can see from there, you can see, oh, this is the Harley Davidson. And now what we're going to do is to replace the test widget by the colorize test widget, colorize animated test kit widget. So this one, we're going to replace the test widget with this. So we're going to delete this first, and we'll say animated, colorize animated test kit, yes. And no worry, because we didn't give anything. So for the test, we'll say Harley Davidson. And for the colors, for testing purpose, we may just say colors dot, I guess, pink maybe, and colors dot amber. Yep. And also we're gonna give some test style. So I will show you what if we didn't give the test style. It will give an error too. It said the font size. So we're gonna give test style, and the test style you have to specify the font size. So for font size we say 30, and refresh, you can see it, Harley Davidson. And we're gonna give the font weight to bold. Okay, it's better we can make it larger. 35 maybe. Yes, and you can even give more color you want. So we give the green accent and let's see. Reload. Yes, I think it's quite good. And I want to say this is a list, so we can give more tests. This time I would say a motor app, and when you refresh you may get some error. Yes, so we have to reload this. Restart it. So when you click restart, hot restart, you can see it up and running perfectly. So wait for it, it will change the test. Yes, that's it. How we use the animate test kit without doing any animation. Yeah, the package helps us to do so. And I don't like the amber, maybe we change it to purple. And we don't need the green accent. Let's see. Yes, that's it. So you learned how to use animated test kit. I can show you another style, which is typewriter. This is so similar. You just change the colorized animated test kit to typewriter animated test kit. And for colors, it's not doesn't have this option, so we cut it. And let's see. This animation is also awesome. So you can explore on your own and find the perfect one to suit your needs, your app. So for our app, I will stick to the colorized animated test kit. So the layout is a bit strange for me. I'm going to remove the space and we're going to add some the price. For example, you can see the price for the motorbike, and we're going to replace the number something image from it. So the first step is going to remove the sized box. Let's remove it and see. It moves up. Alright, and I think the corner is a bit sharp. We are going to make it more rounded. So we head up to the border radius and we add to 20. And after that we're going to do hot restart. After hot restart, you can see the border is rounded. And now, how can we replace the this test? We're going to create a list as well. Create a list of string, meaning the price, or we can say integer. List of integer, and we call it price. Price list, and say we have to add the price according to the each image. So you can see the first is 43,949. So it's 43,949, and the next one is 43,889. The third one is 42,339, and the last one is 40,889, which is okay. We got five prices there. So we can see the test. We're going to replace this with our price list and integer. Index. and you can see the error because it's integer, so we have to make it to string. And hot restart. Let's see what happens. Okay, we can see the price are going to the image, but it's not that good looking, so we're gonna add the dollar sign in front of it, but we can't do so because this means we have to throw this yes, we're gonna say this is a test, and inside the test we're gonna throw this with the square bracket and hot restart. Nothing happens, so we can add a dollar sign in front of it. So when you add a dollar sign in front of this, we have to use special notation. Say the backward slash and then dollar sign first. So you can see it's yellow, orange in color. It means it represents a dollar sign. So let's restart and see where it pops up. Yes, you can see the dollar sign. So you have to note that how do you add dollar sign in front of kind of not a text, not a string. It is representation of our list of prices. So you're gonna add this backward slash in front of it. Moreover, we're gonna add some style, and the style we're gonna increase the font size and the font weight to bold. What about 30? And we make it dark blue, about indigo. Just see what happens. No. Sharper color yellow. Restart, and you can see it's better. And we can add some shadow. Yes, shadow, and so we should give a list of shadow. And for the shadow, we got some parameter. For example, offset. We give it 5 and 10, and yes, 5 and 10. And for the color, say colors dot, I like black or white, just see what was the outcome. And we got some blur radius, I like 5, and you restart it, can see a little bit out, so we're gonna reduce it to 2 and 3. Let's see hot restart again. I'm gonna move it 5. sorry, hot restart. So this is the normally your process of developing an app. You're gonna test it a lot of time, because Flutter is really easy for you to design the UI. You just got to test it. And I think we have to try the black color. Okay, and how it starts, just to make it more easy to look at. Yes, it's better. What about deep purple? Start. Whatever color you like, and that's fine. So this is how we make the prices according to the list. And in the following video I'm going to duplicate another one, so if you can do it, try it yourself and see how we do so. So now we are going to add a bottom navigation bar. The one we are going to use is the curved navigation bar. So search curved navigation bar, and you can see this one. I think the animation is pretty good, so go to installing and add this to your pubspec.yaml and go packages get. So now you can use this package. Go to the landing page and we import the curved navigation bar. So how do we use it? We are going to add this to our bottom navigation bar. As we are not using scaffold, we can add the bottom navigation bar. For bottom navigation bar, we use the curved navigation bar. And for items, we are going to give a list of icons or widgets. We use the icons widget. So this is a type of widget, list of widgets. So for icon, we use and then for the first thing, we are going to use a list, and for second one, we're going to use for detail maybe subject, and we have 2 pages only, so we say the size is 30, and when we save, can see the animation, but the background color doesn't correspond to our background color, so we are going to add the background color. Not there. Curved navigation bar. After that, we have the background color. So our color is this one, I guess. So background color would be this. Yeah, it is looking fine, and I think the white bottom navigation bar is fine. And for the color of the icon, we can give a color of stone, I guess maybe yellow. Just try to see the effect. and we restart the app. Not that obvious. So we go to a sharp color. Just try it. And I think it's pretty good. So we use pink accent. And that is how you add the bottom navigation bar. We're going to add pages for this thing, and we will do it in the next video. You can see the icon did change, or maybe you use more obvious icon, home, and you can see that yes, it's better. So in the next video we're going to add new pages here under the light folder. So now we are going to add another list. So here you can see that we have another category called Softail. What we are going to do is very simple. Just duplicate the things that we've did before. So we are going to duplicate from here to here, copy and paste, and we have to change the name. Remember how to do that. We go refactor and then rename. Now the category is Softail, so we say Softail list. Go refactor and this one as well. Softail. Okay, and you can see there is a green line. It means that thinks there is a typo. So just say spelling and save Softail to project level dictionary. Then it will saved. So we go to rename as well, Softail. And that's it. So we're gonna change the image URL as well. So I will give all the image I use the URL to you, so no worry. And now we just replace it with our URL and price. The first one will be 2,199. Okay, and everything is the same. So we're gonna to create another slider. How can we do so? So we're going to add another carousel slider. It's pretty easy. We just say the item is the things that we want. So first it should be CVO, and this would be soft tail. Let's see, refresh or reload, and can't use map because it's declared more than once. Okay, so the problem is that the same name shouldn't be used in two places, so we say that this is map CVO and we say this is map soft tail, and it should be fine. And let's see, restart. And also we're gonna change the name here as well, map CVO, and no, this is soft tail. And for map CVO, we're going to say map CVO and start again. Yes, and you can see the pictures are the same. Why? So we're going to fix this because here should be image list, and finally it should be all round. Yes, and the price. Where's the price? The price should be the price list right here. Yes, so we got two carousel with different types of motorbike. In the following, we can click in the following video we will add the function that we can click on the picture and show some more details. Now we just simply add another widget, test widget, and we don't need the which test widget, just say soft tail, and the style would be I'm going to change the color on of the top as well to black, X7, and the font size would be 26, and the font weight be 600. So let's see, it's better, and we're gonna align it to the left. So add a new widget, align, and align it to top left. Yes, and we want to leave some space, so add a padding to 12 and give some sized box with a height of 10 maybe. Yeah, this is better. And now I want to move the background to higher. So in the next video we will move the background to higher places. This is just a quick video to let you try how to make the wave higher. So remember, top is the smallest number and bottom is the larger number, 0 to 1, so we're gonna make it to a 3. Let's see what happens. too high. Maybe I'll make 4 or 5. Maybe 4. Yes, I guess it's better, and the yellow one would be high as well. 1. Maybe 80. I'm sorry, 0.08. 0.07. And the duration would be 8,000. Okay, so this is the design that we want. Now tell me the problem. What do you think about our file? Do you think it is too wordy? It is not easy to find what you want, right? So is there a better way for us to kind of refactor or clean up some code? Yes, we are going to move this part, the list to another page, and just cut this first, and you can see the error. Why? Because you're missing the list. So we are going to make a new file called motor list, and inside the motor list we're going to import something first, the material dot, and we just simply paste everything we have before. Don't change it, just paste it, and go back to the landing page. You see it's undefined, right? So the only thing that we need to do is to import it from where? From the motor list. Since we're in the same folder, we don't have to mention the folder name. We just say the motor list dot, and everything is fine. How to check? Let's restart and see. Does it broke? No, it's working fine. So this makes our landing page simpler, and all the list we can find from this file motor list. So this is how we refactor some code. And that's it, how we refactor it. And in the future videos, we are going to make this card clickable. So we are going to add another thing called the detail. So we are going to add a new file called card detail. So just add it first, and we will going to do something in the future, in the following videos. So before we start, actually create a card detail page. We're going to add a folder called model, and inside model we are going to add a file called the motor info maybe, and inside that we are going to declare something. We say the class of motor, and we have for motor we have the string, we have the ID for different card, for different motorbike, and we have a string for the brand or just simply a name. And why we need the underline, because it is local. The string is local, meaning you cannot access to this string in other file. So we keep adding description of the bike and maybe the price. So integer the price. So we used to hard code this, but in future we can modify all these things. You can see the value isn't used. How can we say solve that? I'm going to say motor, and we're making a constructor this dot id, this dot name, this dot description, and this dot price. So we are going to create make a map. So motor dot map, so it is dynamic object, and for this dot id we map it to id, similar to for title, for the name, say it is object title. For description, it is description. So in the future we can retrieve this value. So the last thing we're going to add is the price. Yes, and we are creating a getter function, a getter. So the ID would be ID. This way you can access the ID in the outside of this file. String get name be name, and the string get description would be description, and this is this notation is a flat arrow on the lambda function. And for integer, price would be the price. That's it. And now the map, we're taking string and gives out dynamic. To map. Okay, it doesn't return statement, so we're going to create it. For variable map, it would be a new, or we don't need the new word. Map and then dynamic. Dynamic because you don't you can't say it's string because you got integer inside, or you can't say it is integer because you got string inside. So we say dynamic, and we say if the ID is a null, then we do something. Do what? We map the ID as ID, and for other, like the name, we map the name with name, and similar for description, set IP tag, right? For description, we map this to description, and for the last price, we map the price to price. And finally, we're gonna return the map. And the map is this map. Okay, so we're gonna create motor dot from map from the map, and map we got dynamic and dynamic map. So what you do, this dot ID will be map ID, this dot title, this dot name will be map the title, the field of title, and similar for the description, remember to the description field. And lastly, for the price, we map this to the price field. And that's it. This is basically what a motorbike cart will have. We have ID, we have a name, we have description, and we have the price. So this is the model of our motorbike. So now we have created our model, and for store all the strings and price, but where do we store it? On your device or any places else? So now we are going to use the backend called firebase, which we have already installed it and we have added to our project. And for firebase, we are going to use the file store function on the database. So I'm going to briefly introduce you how to use the car file store. First, you go to the database and click it. You see this page, and you can click to the video to see what actually it does, and you can just click create database, and inside this you click the test mode and click next, and set the location. Just simply use the US Central, click done, and wait for it to set up. And it's setting up the security rules. Okay, then there you go. This is our database, and for rules, we are not going to modify this first because this is for testing purpose. In the future, you can change the rules so that only a login user can write or read. And for the data, this section here is where we store our data. So I'm going to demonstrate that to you. So add collection, maybe we got a motorbike. This is the name of the collection. When click next, here you can see auto ID. This is the unique ID for each document, and we have the field for such as the name of the motorbike, maybe CV or something, and we can add a field. We have the description. Maybe say some motorbike, something, and this is where you store the description, and you can have the price. Do you remember that for our price is integer, so we can select the type of the price, so it should be number. So you can see that there are also other types, for example boolean, true or false, a map, array, null, timestamp, geo point or reference. So there's a lot of choices. Now we just give number like this, and we click save. So after that, you can see this is our motorbike collection, and this is the unique ID which represent a document which represent this, and inside we have the description, the name, and the price. So this is basically how Firestore works. And when we retrieve the data, we have to mention what collection is. We have to type the name, and then we refer to the document that we want. So this is how Firebase and Firestore works, and we're going to create a new file called motor Firestore service, and we are going to create the functionality here. So let's start. So we have the motor Firestore service.dat. This file will mainly for handling the function from the Firebase. So first we have to import something. For example, we have to import the motor info, and we have to import the cloud Firestore because we are doing something from the cloud Firestore, and we give a final. We say the collection reference. We name it as motor reference, or motor collection is better. And it will be the Firestore dot instance dot collection. Remember, we named it as motorbike, so we say motorbike. And that's it. And we create a class called motor firebase Firestore service, or simply we say motor Firestore service. And inside that we have a static final motor Firestore service, name as instance, and will be motor Firestore service dot internal, and we have a factory motor Firestore service. We'll give a new instance. Yes, you use that. Alright, and we have motor Firestore service dot internal. Alright, so you see the green squiggly line. It means he doesn't understand firestore, so we add it to the project level dictionary. And now we use a type called future. Future means you will get something from the future. Say motor, the type is motor, and we name this function as create motorbike. Okay, and we give the string name, string description, remember, and integer price. And then it will be a async function. Async means you have to wait something. Asynchronous. So final we have the transaction handler. We name it create transaction, and it equals transaction say is tx, and it's async function. The final document snapshot, correct, ds document snapshot, and you have to await for something, await for the transaction to get the document reference. What is the document reference? It's motor collection dot document. So we can get we can add something to there, and we're going to create something called motor. It will be motor, and the ID, remember the ID is the unique ID. We say that it will be the documents from the document snapshot, and that will be the document ID. For the name, it will be our name, and for the description, it will be our description, and the price will be our price, and that's it. So we also got the final of map, taking dynamic and give dynamic, and we say it is data, we name it data, and motor dot to map it. Alright. And finally we got await for something, await for the transcription to a transaction to set. For the document reference, we say is document snapshot dot reference, and for data we just simply leave it there. And now everything is fine. We just return the data, and that's it. So after all this from async, and then we're gonna return something. We're gonna return the firestore dot instance, and then we run the transaction. So the transaction handler will be create transaction, and not yet, we're gonna say then we have to map. So say the map data, just simply give it a name, and it will return something, return the motor from map. So the map data will be the map data referred to here, okay, and that's it. So after that we're going to say cache error. What is cache error? Because sometimes there may be error from when creating the model. Maybe you got some you don't add the description, so you may have some error. So you have to cache the error. Say that just simply name the error as error, And then what will you do when you have the error? We will print the error as the real error, and that's it. Otherwise we return no. Alright, so this is how we create create motorbike function. We are going to get the list of motorbike as well. We create and we have to get. So how do we do that? We use stream meaning a stream of data in the future. So we say the type is curious snapshot. We get motor list, and inside we have the integer of offset. We have integer is the offset, and integer of limit. So in the stream, and the type is curious snapshot, we name it snapshots, and it will be the motor collection dot snapshots. Alright, and we say if the offset is not null, then we say the snapshot is the snapshot, and skip the count. The count is offset. And what if the limit is not null? So the snapshot would be the snapshots dot take, and the count would be the limit. Okay, and then we're gonna return the snapshots. Sorry. We're gonna create a method. Sorry. We're gonna create a method for update the info, so we can have the get. So we get a list of the data that in the database we create. And what about we wanna update? So sometimes the data may be outdated. We have to update. So we're going to create a method called update motor. So the feature will be dynamic of type, and call it update motor bike, just motor, and it will be the type is motor, and we say motor. So it will be a synchronous function as well, because you don't know when it will be done, the update process. So it will be async. And for transaction handler, we say update transaction, and the transaction we name it tx. It will be async. Just say the function first. It will be async, and inside we have final transaction handler, and we have the final document snapshot, and then we say ds for abbreviation, and we have to await for what? Await for the transaction to get the motor collection, and the document further down is the document, and the document is the motor.id, because we have to get the ID first before we do anything. If you don't know which motorbike you are referring to, you can't do anything. So after that, we're going to wait for the transaction to update, this is predefined function, so you can use it update. And the document reference will be our ds.reference, and the data. So the data will be the motor.toMap. So not and then we're going to return something, say updated is true, so you know that it is updated, and that's it. After that, we're going to return the file store instance, and say the run transaction will be the update transaction as we mentioned above. After that, you're going to, then the value is the result, just name it result, and the result is updated. So remember how to cache the error as well, because sometimes you got error, and we say the error, we name it as error. And what do you do if you got the error? You just print it to our console. Say the error is the error. This means that the actual error that we're getting, and then you're gonna return false. So that's it. How we update the info of the motorbike. And you have the create, you have the get, you have update method. What about delete? So you don't want to show this to your customer anymore. So we're gonna create a delete motor function. So as well as future, so the same as future, and the type is dynamic. We'll say delete motor, so you don't want it anymore. You take in the string of the ID because you want to specify which motorbike you want to delete. And you have the function, it will be an async function, and the final transaction handler. Your transaction handler, you name it delete transaction, and it will be transaction, and we'll say tx. The same, we are using async, and inside the async function we have final document snapshot, we name it ds, and we're gonna wait for the transaction to get the ID of the document, and we're gonna await for the transaction to delete it. So we delete the document snapshot.reference, and we got the returned deleted is true for us to know that it is deleted. And after that, we're still gonna return from the file store instance, file store.instance, and we're gonna run a transaction. The transaction we say delete transaction, and then give the result. We say result. We just name it result, and the result will be deleted. So don't forget to catch error. So we may have some error. So we're gonna catch the error and print it onto our console. So we say the error is error, and that's it. Finally, return false if there's no Alright, so this is perfect our motor file store service. So in the where is it? In the card detail we're going to implement the function from the motor file store service. Now we are going to create the card details page. So when we click onto the card, it will will navigate to the card details page. So we import material.dart stateful, we name it card detail, and for the container we use scaffold, and we have app bar. We have the title, just for simplicity we say calls, say card detail, and for the body we use a container, and inside container we have a child of column and have text. So inside the text we say now first, and then in the landing page where we control our card is the carousel slider. And for carousel slider we are going to add a widget to wrap it with a new widget which is called the gesture detector. So this is very useful. Since our card is not clickable, we add the gesture detector, so it detects the gesture. So we have on tap or even on double tap, horizontal drag, etc. We just use on tap. And for on tap we have the function called navigator.push, and when the user tap it, we will push it to our cost detail page, say the material page route, the builder contest, and then we push it to the cost detail, the card detail page. And you'll see the red line because we didn't import it, so we import the card detail. But you know that how do we identify which card is it? So we say the position so we will specify which card is it in this card detail page. So this is how we navigate from this card to the card detail. So let's just run it, restart it, and see when we click it shows some error. We have to provide the text, so we just say detail for the time being, restart, and let's see can we navigate. So we can move it, and when we click, yes, when we go back, we go back. When we click, we can navigate to card details page. So in the following videos we are going to make this page specific to the card. So this is how we navigate to the card details page by using the gesture detector. So now the problem of using gesture detector is that you can click anywhere, even inside, you will return to this page. This is not what we want, because we want to exactly the cut, but we can do so because for gesture detector we need the context, but for our list we don't have context, we don't have build method. So now what we're going to do is a huge change. We have to use list fill and instead of carousel slider. So what is the pros and cons for carousel slider is that you can display something, but it is really hard to click and navigate to the cut that you want. So for carousel slider, it is very good for you to display the image or text, but not for navigation. For navigation, you have to use something called list fill builder. So this will be a huge change, and we are going to try this first. We are going to comment this out. Comment this out, and going to make our own carousel slider. We use expanded widget, and the child will be list fill dot builder, and inside the builder we have two parameters, which is item count and item builder. And for the item count, we say we have to say it is the items, and we have to declare it on top. We have to say list of motor, and it will be items. So for motor, we have to import it, import the model and the motor info. So yes, and now we have the item count, items dot length. We have to know how many items are there. And for the builder, we say that we have context and the position. So the benefit of this is that we can now easily know which, you see the build context is an integer, we can easily specify the position that we want. And inside the builder, we return gesture detector. So now we use the gesture detector so that we can give the action on tap, and when on tap we will navigate. Navigator.push, we push to a new page where the context and the route will be material page route, and the builder now will be the context, and it will go to the cut detail page, and the items dot item position, we got the position now. And what is it set? Because we don't take the item position in our cut detail page. So in our cut detail page, we have to say that final the motor. I have to import it as well. Model motor info, and now the motor, we name it motor, and we have to construct it. Let's say the cut detail this dot motor, and now we take which motor. So we specify this motor, the position. And now for gesture detector, we also got let's put the comment there first. Yes, because there's nothing, so you see the length 0. So we're gonna give child. The child will use cart. For the cart, we simply give another child called column, and children we use the stack as we used to be, and for stack we got another children, which is clip outract, and border radius, just like before, is 20. And the child will be our image dot network, and for now we just simply use any image here. And then the image we say and the fit will be box fit cover. Okay, so why we are not getting this? Because we have to listen from the firebase. So we're going to say that first we have to import the code file motor file store, and we call it the motor file store service as db database, and will be motor file store service. And for stream subscription, which is from the cloud file store, import the cloud file store, and stream subscription query snapshot of the type query snapshot. I will say the motor sub. Now we import it from async, and now we have to override the init state. So we add override the init state, and what we are going to do is that we have the super init state, and we also have the item list. So when you start the app, it will listen to our database. So motor sub cancel, and motor sub will be the database, will be from the database dot get motor list, and it will listen to that query snapshot, name it snapshot. And what we will do is get a list of motor. Let's write so the bracket. Okay, and then we name it motor. It will be the snapshot documents, and map function will be the document snapshot and flat arrow motor.fromMap and the document snapshot.data. We have to make it to list, and that's it. So we're gonna, and now we have to say set state, and this dot items will be the motor, and that's it. So when you restart, you can see just one item. Why? Because we are using the data from our database and we only got one document. So we can try add another document, auto ID give nothing. Let's see, yes, and you can see the list view is vertically. So how can we solve that? We say scroll direction, axis to be horizontal. Let's restart. And yes, but the image is too big, so we can and the white space is because we use expanded, and in expanded we have flats. What if we say flats is 4, restart, there's nothing happened. But when we wrap either as expanded widget and we give the flash as 2, so let's see what happens. Sorry, not 4 but 2. So it removes upward because it takes more spaces, and when we say flash is 1, this is 2, we make more good looking card. So for the image, because it is covering our card, so it will not make that circular. What we are going to do is that we're gonna wrap the image with clip outlet, but we're going to remove this, and yes, it's better. We are going to remove the column also. Yes, and we are going to wrap this with padding. Will be 12. Now you got some spaces, so when I add one more, you can see the effect. Nice save. Automatically get from the firebase, so you can see 3 cards right here. So this is how we fix it, and we are going to do the test and also the navigation part. So what we are going to do is to make the card the image different from each other. So now we're gonna go to the motor info and we add one more field. We add the string URL. So we're gonna give this dot URL, and here as well this dot URL would be the object. We name it URL. So now I will change the title to name as well. Okay, name. This is name. Yep. And then for string, get URL would be the URL, image URL. And here as well, the map URL would be URL. And return the map. There's dot URL map the URL. So we're gonna change this to name as well. Yes, and this should be fine. We save it, and now we go to the landing page. Let's see what happens. Yeah, we're gonna give URL as well. Okay, and string URL. So we say URL, and everything is fine. And go to the landing page. So we're going to put all this hard-coded to our firebase. So just copy one URL first. And then for this field, we're going to replace this with our items dot the position first. So which URL you are referring to. So when we save that, we should be seeing nothing. Yeah, it's because we don't have the URL here. And for our document, we may say URL would be our URL. And you can see corresponding to our image. For this one, we're going to copy this image and change it to URL. And see, is it? Yes, different images. So now you successfully changed the image according to your firebase image. So we grab more image to see the effect. So this is really fetching from your Firestore. So this is how we achieve the fetching image from Firestore. We use this saying. And now I want to warp this with a cut. For cut, you got elevation. We see the effect. I should see a square. Yes, because we didn't mention about the shape. For shape, we're gonna say it is a rounded rectangular border, and for the border radius, it will be a circular 20. So it looks better, right? And that's it. In the following, we're going to add the text again and all the other information. I'm going to code the cut detail page. We're going to add the price, so we use position, and for bottom will be 0, for left will be 0, and we got a child, which is the test widget. Inside the test widget, we should be using the price from our firebase. So items, position, and dot price. Remember that. And we're gonna make it string because in firebase this is integer. And now you should see nothing because we didn't add the price to the firebase, so it is null. And when we add the field price, which is an integer or number, will be maybe 2100. You can see the price up there. And now what we are going to do is to mock the price first. We're giving fake price. In the future, we're going to add the price directly from our app, just using fake data. Okay, and it should be a number of 4,000, and this should be number as well, 3,000. You update, you can see it directly. Now for some design, we have to make it bigger, the text. Style text, text style, the font size will be 30. Yes, and the font weight bold, better. And remember how to add the $, backslash, $, and C. Yes, you got $, you don't need the space. And for the position, we're gonna move it a little bit further from the left, and from the bottom as well, 5. This is better. And for the elevation, we're gonna make it 8, so more obvious. You can see the elevation, the cart. And I think this is how we're going to lay out our cart. And for the color, it will be colors.amber. Maybe we'll make it more sharp, pink. Yes, this is how we're going to lay out our cart. And what about we say price is and the font size would be 25. Okay, I think this is better. So this is how we add the price from our firebase. So now we can hard code the price, but now we are going to implement the function that we can add directly from the app. So now we are going to some work on the cart detail. And for the cart detail, there are a lot of works to do. We have now we can now get the motorbike we are referring to, and now we're going to create some file store function. We import the motor file store service, and then down here we're going to say the motor file store service, we name it database, and will be motor file store service. We want to be able to edit the course, so we have test editing controller. We name it the name controller. We have mentioned this before, the test editing controller. And we also got the description controller. And we also got the what else? URL controller. So we can decide which picture to show. and then we're going to override the init state. So that when you first start the app, you can fill the test equal the test editing controller, and our test, the test will be widget dot motor dot name, because this is the name controller. And for the description controller, we have the test editing controller, and test will be the widget dot calls dot motor dot description. And for the URL controller will be test editing controller. The test will be the widget dot motor dot dot URL. For the price, we will do it later. And now we can see that this is the page that we normally have, and we have to make it different for different motorbike. So here under the column, we make the simplest thing first. I have the test field, and for test field we have the controller. We have 3 test fields, which is the name, controller, and copy and paste, and the description controller. And the URL controller. So that refresh, yes. And we have the button. And now we just see the URL, because in the firebase we just have the URL. So we're gonna add more fields, such as the name would be I forgot the type, the brand type. Just quickly get one. Okay, this just simply say is 150th anniversary, and because the name is limited, CVO limited. And for the last one, the name would be Street Glide. Okay, so let's see. We can see the name, and because we don't have description, we're gonna add some description now. Okay, just simply add the description. Don't care about which car is it, which motorbike is it. And this. Alright, we can test it. Go back and choose any car, and you can see the description, right? And you click it, you can change, but it's not able to change now. What do? We have to add some function. So in the following video, we're gonna add some buttons to edit the test, to update the test. Now this is a little bit messy, so we are going to clean up some code. So you can see for our for the cart list field builder, we can extract this. So go to the Flutter outlined, and you can say extract the widget. We call it the top card. I go refactor. You can see Flutter automatically helps you to put all things down there, and we're gonna put this thing as well. We're gonna extract widget again. We say the button card, or we say second card. Refactor, and we can delete the new keyword, and now second card is here. So no, not second card. Yeah, I think it's fine to leave it there, or we can say extract widget, second heading. It will be fine. Second heading, yes. And for this carousel slider, I will leave it here to show you how to use carousel slider. And for top card, let's go and delete the carousel slider. Now the code is simpler. And for this thing, the header, we are going to extract it as well. So extract widget, the top heading. Yes, we can extract it. So we can simply see how many widgets are there inside the column. And for this is the Harley Davidson. We are going to extract this as well. Extract widget, we say the Harley. Yes. So it's very concise. You can see the body. We have a stack. First we got a wave widget, so we're gonna extract this as well. Wave background. No. This wave widget, we can extract it also. Say wave background. And yes, nothing changed here. We're just doing some cleanup work. The container, I just leave it there. And we use the bottom navigation bar. We are going to switch pages, so this will help us a lot when we have some neat code. So now what we are going to do is to make us to be able to change pages. So we have very simplified. We have simplified a lot the landing page. What we are going to do is to go here, the curve navigation bar. We are going to make the on tap property. We call it now first. Up there we are going to create a final call. Well, no, we call a int. We call it page, and this is going to determine which page we are in. So say the page is equal to 0 initially, so it will always be here. And now we are going to say that here, if the page is equal to 0, equal to 0, we are going to return this scaffold. So down to here. And else we will return something. We'll return our new scaffold, and yes, in the new scaffold we will have app bar, which is the same as the above, so not app bar, but navigation bar, and we're gonna copy that to here. And we also got a body. For now we just say the color to be maybe amber to see the effect. And when we refresh, it doesn't do anything because we are not done yet. We have the page, and when we go to the on tab, we have to change we have to say for the index, and inside we use set state. So when the originally the page will be 0, we'll update the page index when we tap it. If the page number is 0, we will no, we did this below, so we just need to update the page index. So when we restart it, it should be working properly. Yes, when we click this is working fine. When we click this is not working fine, so we have to fix this. I found the problem. We're not going to implement this here, so we delete this first. We are just doing for the cut this. We're just doing this for the body. So you say if the page is equal to 0, we have this. Sorry, everything is fine. Just restart first. Because the problem is we don't in the body we just got amber. So gonna say else if the page is equal to 0, so we say on tab we give the on tab property. So when we restart, yes, you can go back. So I sum up the problem that we've met. We use condition. If the page is 0, we're going to display this page, and we have to update the page in the number of page using the set state. And when you navigate to this page, and you have to update the number of the page as well. So when you click this, it will automatically change. Oh yeah, now page 0, so go page 0. If you click this, page 1, so you're gonna see page 1. So we are going to change the color first. I think it's a little bit strange. So how can we do that? We click the wave background and copy the color, go to here and paste it. Yes, better. I think it's pretty good. So this is how we navigate between the bottom nav bar. For more nav bar, just simply say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 equal 1 equal 2 equal 3 equal 4 equal 5, and you use the else statement. That's it. Alright, so now here comes our first challenge. You can see from the app that I have added something in this page, and for example, when you add the price for description and you add a link to the image, for example, this time is http://tinycc4x and 68y. When you add this, and you can see, yes, our image pops up, and we show that in the firebase. So we're gonna wait for that. In our database, there is a collection called motorbike, and we have our ID, description, name, and URL. So this is what I'm going to ask you to do: how to add these three fields, and how to when you click this button, it's going to create something in the firebase, and it's gonna pops up in your app. For example, let's try again, maybe 60 and new description. Why we are going to type the URL is because we are fetching the image from the web, and we don't know and we have to specify the URL for that. So add another one, and you can see it pops up. So this is what I'm going to ask you to do. So you're gonna do something to the firebase. When you finish, you can check the video how we did that. Okay, so I'm going to explain how we did the job, how to add this. First, the page, how do we add the test field? So down here, yes, the landing page. First, we created the add name controller. Here we say add name controller, add description controller, and add URL controller. And then in the init state, we're going to say the add name is test adding controller, similar for this and that. So this is in the init state before the app really runs. So here we have the test field, we have the controller. Then we give the size box, so leave some spaces. And after that, we have the raised button. For the raised button, we have on pressed function, function, and then we have database referring to the motor firebase file store service, and we have the create motor method, and inside that we have to give the name, the description, and the URL. For now, just say the name is the test, the description is the test, the description is the description, and the URL is URL. And after that, when we submit, we're gonna clear the controller. So when you click submit, all the tests will be gone. And after that, it will be successfully updated to the firebase. So this is what you get. And for the test field, we are going to have some decoration. So input decoration, and we can have some hint text, which is a string. Enter motorbike name, and for the text field, the second text field, enter the description, and for the last field we're going to say enter the image URL. Alright, and besides, we are going to have some color. Let's try the field color. Doesn't work, and we are going to change the color, so we have to wrap this with the theme, and we have data, we have theme data, and since we are going to change the hints text, we say hints color is equals to white. So let's see, yes, it changed. So for the other text field we have to do so. Yes, and this one as well. So for the data, it's gonna be theme data, and hint color will be colors.white. Let's see, 3 of it. Yes, it's more obvious. And for the button as well, style text style will be colors.white. And for the color, I want to use amber. Is it good? Maybe yellow accent. No. Indigo. Yes, I guess it's better. And what we are going to do is to add the outline. How do we add outline to the text field? Inside the decoration, we can say border, and for the border we use the outline input border. That's it. It is really easy to do so. So both of that got the outline, and we're gonna wrap that, or we're gonna add padding, and we're going to add 12. So it's better. For each of that we're gonna add 12 padding, or maybe symmetric and vertically we're gonna add 10, and for horizontal add 4. Let's see. For vertical it is 4, and horizontal is 12. Yes, better. So copy this, paste it. Yes, and better. So for the last one we're going to add padding, and yes, this is it. By the way, when you can't see your keyboard, you can say Toggle software keyboard, then you can see the keyboard, or you can use Command K to hide the keyboard. Now we can move to the front page and the second page, and I will add heading. So a test widget. So we say that added, or we say add new motorbike. We're gonna add position widget, and for the position widget, the top will be on 30, and the left is 30 as well. So what's the problem? Let's see if we add right 30. So we are not gonna use position for now. We just add size box. And height would be 30. Yes, it's better, and we increase the font size to 30, maybe 22, and the font weight to be 600. Let's see. Yes, and for this one, the vertical will be add a size box again, and let's set it to 15. So this is better. Maybe we can change the color of the hint text, and to change the border we are going to use enabled border. For the enabled border, we can say the border size, and for border size we have border size, and we can declare the color. For now we're going to say the color is indigo. Yes, that's it. You can see the color, and also we can say the width. For example, the width is 2, it will increase the width. So we're gonna say 1.4 maybe. Yes, I think it's better. So we're gonna copy and paste this to other field. Yes, for the text input hint text, we're gonna add the border, and we're gonna delete this. Just replace this, and yes, 3 of that will be blue in color. So what else? I guess that's it. How we're going to add the info. This is the page that we're going to add the info. Now I think the background is a little bit plain and boring. What about we have some circle line behind? So how do we do that? First, temporarily we're gonna remove all these lines, and we're gonna save it in some places. So we find some places to save the code, and After that, we're gonna say use the layout builder. We return a layout builder, and for the layout builder, we have the builder parameter, which is context and constraint. So constraint would be the width of the device and height of the device. So we say that we say height will be the constraint and dot max height. So now we can get the height of the device no matter what device you are using. And for the width will be constraint dot max width. Alright, and then we're going to return something. Since we're going to lay out something in the background, we're going to use stack. And for stack, we are going to have our children. For the children, we're going to have a container, and the container we have some color. Say the color is dark. First, I'll use pink first, and pink accent. So just refresh, restart, and see what happens. That's just a plain background. And then we'll use position. For position, we have left would be height divided by 2, and we minus the width divided by 2. Negative. And the bottom would be height times 0.25, and we have the child. For the child, we have the container. Inside the container, the height will be the height, and the width also be a height, because we want a circle. And for the decoration, we have to use the box decoration, and inside that we declare the shape to be circle, and the color to be color stop pink, maybe yellow. Let's see. So now you can see we got a circle, big circle, and the height the bottom is the height times 1/4 of the height, and I think it's pretty good. So what I want is to have a bunch of circle. So we're gonna copy and paste this. We're gonna copy and paste, and we're gonna modify the left side. We're gonna be the width times 0.15, and for from the top we say it is negative width times 0.5. So for the height, that means how big the circle is. I say this time the width, and for the width you're gonna also say width. So this time I'm gonna change the color to maybe blue for that you can see. Yeah, so you can see there's another circle, but I think it's too small. We're gonna say 1.6 and times 1.6. Maybe yes, it's better, and I like this. The left side we're gonna move not so further. Yes, I think this is better, and we're gonna make our last circle. So this time I'm gonna make it further, and the size will be just the width, and the color I will say white for now. Can see it's a little bit strange, so I'm gonna move the left, sorry, yes, and gonna move this down, further down, yes, maybe 0.5. And we're gonna make this a little bit smaller, 0.8. Let's see, and we can move it further. Okay, that's it. We're gonna move this further out to the right side. And gonna move it a little bit top to top. So this is how we are going to lay out, and we're gonna change the color. I find a really useful color palette according to our previous color, which is FF7A8A. So I'm gonna use the palette color. So XFF, and color is FF9480. FF9480. Yes, and the other one is FF8DB7. And the last one is FFC7CD. Okay, so let's check it out. Yes, this is how we are going to lay our background, and we're gonna put all the things back, and then we're gonna wrap this with the scaffold, and we change this back to body, and we're gonna add our bottom navigation bar back. Yes, you can see, but the color doesn't match, so I'm gonna change the pink, change this color to the base color. No, not really this one. Change the background color to this. Yes, so it is better, and we're gonna add back our previous code. So below the positioned, and then we can add our code back, and you can see it overlays the previous code. So what we're going to do, we're going to delete something. We're going to delete the color, let's see. And yes, we're done. So this is our background, and I guess the test is not obvious, but I leave it as it is. So this is how we are going to lay out our yes, this is how we are going to lay out our code, our design. So for the last thing, we are going to make it more app-like. So we are going to add an app bar, and inside app bar we're going to use Harley. No, the title first, and title we are going to put Harley inside, and remember to remove the Harley in below. Yes, this one, so remove it. So we start. We have a yes app-like looking, and for the CBO top heading, yes, we're gonna have a sized box first. Height to be 10, so leave some space. And for the app bar, we're going to have the color, background color. So the background color would be pink. No. Guess blue-gray. Yes, that's it. So this is our app, and you learned a lot about how to use the package, and also how to use the different widgets. Now I'm going to put this inside a column and remove this. Yes, that's it. You can add the price and description and the link tiny //img. So let's see. Yes, we can add new image. That's it. That's how our apps look like.